Hi, today I will continue my series about how to program the WIZnet W7500 microcontroller. So last time we have updated the sources for our project to the latest SDK released by WIZnet, and in today's video I want to actually use one of the peripherals of the W7500, and the easiest peripheral to use is the GPIO peripherals. So here on this board we have an onboard LED, and the goal for today's video is to create an application which is toggling this onboard LED here. So let's go. The first thing we need to include the library which is offered from WIZnet to use the GPIO pins or the source files. So if I navigate into the W7000X standard peripheral lib repository, and if I search in this repository for GPIO, for everything with GPIO, we can see here two files. So, and here in this file, we have a lot of function which can be used to manage GPIOs. So here we have a function for deinitializing a GPIO pin. Here we are initializing a GPIO pin. Here we can see the descriptions of the command of the arguments, and you can see here we have a lot of functions for GPIOs. So what I will do now is I will copy these files into my projects folder, WIZnet examples, WIZnet source, and include. Okay. And then I will navigate back into my WIZnet examples folder. I will copy the hello project and I will create a new project I will call Blinky. Okay, so main.c is the file we want to use for, or is the source, the main function is implementation of our microcontroller application, and here we have a makefile to build everything. So first let's edit this makefile a little bit. So now of course we have to include the source files containing the GPIO functions, and I will change the name from hello to Blinky, but the rest can basically stay the same. Okay, and now let's open up our main function, and in here we now want to implement the toggling of the LED. But therefore it would be nice if we would have an example at which we could look at. So let me navigate back into the standard peripherals repository, because here under projects, peripheral examples, you can find examples to all the peripherals, and here we have a GPIO example, IO toggle, and here I will open up the main function. So this is the main function, and if we look down here in the main code, what we are doing here is we're doing a system initialization. We are configuring a UART, which I won't use, and we're configuring GPIOs. We'll take a look at the function just in a second. Then we will print out some, here is the standard peripheral library version and the source clock and system clock settings, which were set by system init. And then down here we are toggling some outputs in an endless loop. So I will copy this init function here, and then we will take a look at this GPIO config function. Okay, so what we're doing here is, here we are declaring a struct from the type GPIO init type, and over the struct we can set up the GPIOs which we want to configure. With GPIO pins, we are telling we want to configure these three pins here. The GPIO direction is the output, is the direction we want to set, which is output in this case. Here we can make some advanced configurations for the pad. So for example, if we want to use pull up or pull down resistors, we could set them here, but in this case we don't use them. And this one here is also quite interesting. Here we are setting the pin multiplexer, because normally a microcontroller only has a limited amount of pins, but a lot more functionality available. And to get all the functionality to a pin, we can use a pin multiplexer. So here I'm at WIZnet's documentation's webpage, And if I go to pin assignment, you can see how the pins are assigned, and down here you can see a table. And this table is telling you to which function a pin can be multiplexed. For example, pin C08 can be used as a PWM pin, as a GPIO pin, as an I2C pin, or as an analog input. And it depends on the value you're setting here, or you're assigning here, or with which to which functionality this pin is mapped. So here you can see the document page for the Surf 5, which is the evaluation board I am using. And here we get the information that the user LED, this LED here, is connected to GPIO port C, pin 15. So if we're searching for PC15 here, we can see the default function is an analog input, but we want to use this GPIO function here. So we have to set the multiplexer to alternate function 1. So this is alternate function 0, alternate function 1, alternate function 2, alternate function 3. Okay, so let's initialize a GPIO here. I will call the structure LED because I want to configure an LED. Then I will set the GPIO pin to GPIO pin 15, which is the one which is connected to my LED. Then the GPIO direction should be GPIO direction out. Now, then the GPIO pad configuration I will just copy from here. So I'm using the same one as they're doing here in this example. And then the GPIO alternate function I will also set to pad AF1. Okay, and now I can call the function GPIO init. The first argument is which GPIO blocks I want to use. So as you can see here in this table, we have 4 GPIO blocks. So we have port C, we have port B, we have port A, and we have port D here. And my GPIO pin is connected to GPIO port C, so I will pass GPIO C in here. And then I will pass in a pointer to my GPIO init type struct. Okay, so now the GPIO is set. Now we have to, or is set up correctly, now we have to toggle it. And therefore this delay function can come handy to create some delay. So I will copy this function right here. Let's search for the main function again. Here we go. And here we can see they're using GPIO reset bits and set bits to set the output state of our GPIOs. And I will also copy this delay function here. But maybe let's see if they are offering also a toggle function for the GPIOs. Therefore, what I'm doing is I'm opening the file WIZnet include GPIO.h, and here you can see various functions for read and writing GPIO pins, and here we have a function called toggle bits, and that's exactly what we want to do. So here I will call this toggle bits function. The port is GPIO-C, and I want to toggle GPIO pin 15. Okay, and that should be basically it. So let me close this and let me try to compile the program. Whoop. Okay, I forgot to include a very important header. Of course, I have to include W7500X GPIO.h to have access to all the defines and functions offered by the GPIO library. So let's try to build it again, and now it's working. Great. Good. The next thing we have to do is we have to upload the program on our microcontroller, and we have to check if it's working properly. So therefore I will source my PyOCD environment in which I have installed PyOCD. And then let's see, Python 3. So I want to load the program to the W7500 and I want to load the file blinky.elf. Okay, the file is loaded on the microcontroller and hey, you can see the LED is blinking now. Cool. So that's how to use GPIO outputs on the W7500 from WIZnet. I hope you've enjoyed the video and learned something. In case you want to support my work, you can buy me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/for Linux. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching and goodbye.